Good morning, people. Welcome to United View. Welcome to another update on the Takeover. Welcome to your morning view. Strap in, get your coffees, get your teas, get your breakfast, etc., etc. Because there's more. You've got yours. I've just finished another protein shake. Actually,
look at Flex.
Yeah, I've just finished that. Done a little 20-minute hit session to try and
get the rock, the fleck.
Sheikh Jassim not giving up. INEOS still confident. Man United takeover news is all going to be in this show. There's so much going on. We knew that more would break from last night. We knew that would happen. And that is exactly the case. When something as big as that happens last night, you know you're going to get a kick on and a follow on straight in this morning. So everyone get involved. Kristen, I like that. I'm watching in the gym. Mike Crammond says, morning Flex, morning Owen. Hope you're well. Yes, we are really good. Got my cup of copium. Yes, to try and cope with everything. Yeah. I like that. Copium, no hopium. Just I've got to try and cope with this. Take it, leave simple, says Lucky. I want to get as many of your comments out today. Lil Yo-Yo here as ever. Big up Lil Yo-Yo. And Fergie Time Baby says all elite. And what else have we got? Late View. What did KG do this time? I can't reveal what he did, but it was disgraceful.
No,
it was.
Yeah.
Shining Star, we're always up for a little bit of constructive criticism. Shining Star says the intro music is too dark for a football show. It's depressing. Now, Shining Star, fair. I like that. We need that continual feedback if that's how it makes you feel. What I would ask you before we go into the show is, you got a picture of Sheikh Jassim now, I see. Is it because you're just in a depressed mood with how you're feeling right now in general, because you don't know which way the takeover is going to go, or is it the music? Let me know.
I think that means it's quite light. It's quite sort of morning-y.
Yeah, just quite morning-y. But the community, you know, they say they love the Europa theme tune. They love the United View theme tune. They like when we do the Christmas one.
Do they love the Europa League theme tune?
They do. Even still now, in the comments of every video, people still go, this I'm going to be ashamed to see, it's a shame to see the back of this theme tune. Hopefully we still do see the back of this theme tune, by the way.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So let us know. We're always open for different ideas. And just quickly, straight away, let's get straight into the super chats before Owen gets right into the news. WJ Barrett says, I missed you last, but watched this morning. We was on to you, WJ Barrett, in a good way, because you were saying throughout this whole process, don't worry, Altani's going to come through. They're going to make another bid. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. And you was just solid on that. So, yeah, we was just giving you your flowers yesterday evening. And Dominic says, hey, guys, love the show. Thank you, bro. Appreciate that. I just feel that both Sheikh Jassim and Sir Jim should be scrutinized. No one is above reproach. Good management is very, very key. Absolutely. And we will talk about that today, just because it's Qatar and they're the only offer that is trying to buy out the whole of the club. That doesn't mean that everything will be perfect. It's just the one that we most want to see. Owen, what we got?
We got quite a lot this morning. So when it comes to an actual monetary value of how much Sheikh Jassim's bid is worth, Ben Jacobs tweeted just after we finished actually last night saying, although the 9-2 Foundation's latest offer has not been disclosed, my understanding is it will be over $7 billion, which is 5.6 billion pounds, all in, inclusive of the pledged investment. Hold that thought, because we're going to get back to pledged investment. There's a little bit of confusion surrounding all of that, like it was the first time around. The bids are placed in dollars in this process. Sources indicate the club valuation part is in the same ballpark as Sir Jim Ratcliffe, believed to be north of $6 billion and thus circa 5 billion pounds. The pledged investment from Sheikh Jassim is understood to be $1 billion, which is around 0.8 billion pounds. Qatar side is adamant again, as they were previously, it's on top and not inclusive, which again was a bit of discrepancy before, with some people suggesting that the offer was inflated by their future pledged investment. They're saying that's not the case this time. But then he had to sort of clear that up because a lot of people were asking questions of him last night. He said, though, for those seeking clarification, sources close to the 9-2 Foundation indicate the offer is over $7 billion all in, from which the $1 billion is pledged investment. Again, much like previously, all of this is disputed, and multiple sources point out the pledged investment is irrelevant to the process, which is why Sir Jim Ratcliffe basically hasn't done that when it comes to the pledged investment, because reportedly it's not really needed. Now, breathe, Owen, breathe, because this morning, The Athletic, they've also written a big piece. Laurie Whitwell has followed up on the reports of last night, I guess spoken to his own sources. And they're still saying that despite this new offer going in, this improved offer, which is closer to the valuation of Sir Jim Ratcliffe's valuation of United, still not a lot has really changed. Now, according to Laurie Whitwell, The Athletic, several sources are now reporting confidence from Sir Jim Ratcliffe's team that the INEOS bid will be successful. Bankers associated with past acquisitions by INEOS were very recently instructed to pull together specific financing for Manchester United, indicating advanced talks. What happens after Qatar's latest bid, though, remains to be seen. But the sense things had been up to that point heading in Ratcliffe's direction comes from financiers who have spoken recently with Reign's counterparts and is strengthened by mystique surrounding Sheikh Jassim. Some at Reign are surprised there has been no direct contact with Sheikh Jassim even now. That level of privacy means the Premier League would take longer in ratifying their takeover, making the deal less appealing to the Glazer siblings who want to cash out immediately. Some feel giving Ratcliffe the impression of success, though, could be a method to squeeze Qataris. Those involved in Sheikh Jassim's bid say they aren't giving up. According to sources, whether their last bid is the final one depends on the feedback that they receive. So really, they're saying that actually all of that stuff last night, Flex, that again might not be the end.
Might not be the end, yeah.
Feedback, if the 9-2 Foundation gets some feedback saying, closer, but not close enough, depending on how that feedback is communicated and how close they think they are, they might go back in with another offer. If it was an 11th hour bid, I guess what? An 11th hour, 59th minute bid or something like that. I don't know. But the final offers might not actually be in. But again, on the INEOS side of things, they're still confident because, at least the financiers have had some communication with Reign to say, put some documents and that together to have proof of finances and all that kind of stuff and go from there. But I guess that was prior to the bid last night, INEOS's confidence. So there's still a lot of reaction to that. A lot of words, I know.
Yeah, a lot, man. I mean, that is that bit there at the end of like, well, depending on what happens, like we don't know what we're going to do now, depending on the feedback on the bid.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, according to that report, that is not ruling out. That is not ruling out going again and trying to up it again. It's not completely ruling it out, and I just think it's becoming increasingly apparent that it's all the tactics to just drive up the price, keep driving up the price. Like Carve said it in his tweet, that you've got somebody there who wants to buy the club in its entirety, that person still hasn't been chosen, and this whole sale process has gone on, over 6 months now. And his tweet was like, it's not a way to treat, one of the biggest football clubs in the world, etc., etc. It's not been about the fans, leaving them in limbo. The new manager is in limbo, all because, the Glazers, and okay, they own the club, so you can understand that, but because they're greedy, don't care about the club and just themselves, is going to be about their best interest and their best interest only. Let's not get this done as efficiently and as quickly as possible and as smoothly as possible. Let's bleed the bids as dry as much as we've bled the club dry. Let's ooze every last cent out of this and keep going and keep going. So that is what is happening. Again, we're getting this disparity though, which is interesting. I saw Laurie Whitwell. He did just like a roundup, like a what we know about Qatar with like some bullet points, and he was saying that INEOS is still confident. He was saying that there's that bit about there's not much known about Qatar. It says mystique around Sheikh Jassim. There you go. But a new offer is submitted. He said United staff are helping due diligence, bank enlisted to work on finance, and Ratcliffe confidence in bid success is what Laurie Whitwell was saying with some bullet points. And that bit that we've said of like it can work in two ways. we're not getting anything from Qatar like we're getting from Sir Jim's INEOS because he's British based, and there's so much more of our journalists who have access to people who would have access to him. So we start getting a lot more information, a lot more briefing, and PR or whatever you want to call it, leaks on Sir Jim Ratcliffe. But Sheikh Jassim, even still now, it's still pretty much, we're seeing the same picture. Like literally on thumbnails, on like regurgitated news.
There's only like two of
This
them.
guy, 100%. This guy is completely low key. Obviously, he's a real guy. This is the fourth bid that's gone in. But in terms of the lack of information on him, and Laurie, to use that language there, mystique around Sheikh Jassim. Basically, what's been insinuated by the British press is that that's a downside for him, that no one seems to know much about him. No one can kind of get hold of him. No one sees him. He didn't come to Old Trafford. He sent his delegates. Whereas Sir Jim's very front of house, very central, very, I'm British. I'm here. I'm a United fan. Because it's like being at home all the time, or actually being there. Like people are like, well, I can see you, I can touch you. You're here. But if people aren't used to seeing you, then sometimes your credibility can be different to somebody who's always there. So that side of it is maybe why the British community, the British media, is kind of having that steady flow of information on Sir Jim Ratcliffe that makes them feel more at ease, going, you know what, front runner, this, that, and the other. He wants this, he wants that. And on the other side of that is, I was reading the other. Did you say about the article that was basically saying that because it could take longer for them to get their hands on the club and their process to be completed in Sheikh Jassim and Qataris, the Glazers would favour.
So essentially they were saying because of the, like you said, the sort of mystique surrounding him, it could take longer to ratify a deal because the Premier League have to do their checks and their due diligence. Because of that, some of the Glazer siblings that are very keen on selling up now may go towards, this one can technically be done quicker, even though we don't get
and that doesn't mean it's true.
To sell, they'd get it up front. No, that doesn't necessarily mean it's true. And also as well, people have to realize that, again, we're dealing with different cultures here. So that can just be,
how he works, how he operates.
Some businessmen in the Middle East might just be that. Well, I'm very low key, I'm very wealthy. I don't need to be front and center. I don't need to be all that kind of stuff. I mean, we're kind of used to it over here in the UK. And I think maybe like in the United States, of these sort of big billionaires or millionaires being almost featured in the media quite often, aren't we? That might just not be how business, I don't know, but that just might be how, business is done in Qatar or the Middle East. That's something to consider too, because you kind of do see that in the press that often, don't you? All that kind of stuff. We don't really hear from them, but at the same time, do we hear that much from? Do we hear that? Do we have that many interviews with City owners or anything like that? I don't really think so.
Only when they've got to come out and say, no, we didn't do that.
Well, occasionally you see the actual owner maybe at the Etihad occasionally, wave to the crowd, and that's about it, really. Exactly. So I don't. Again, it's interesting. All the reporting that is sort of coming out this morning does acknowledge that, obviously INEOS and Sir Jim Ratcliffe, they're confident, and that's based on, again, the financiers hearing or having some communication with Rain. But they also then do say, on the other hand, but we don't really know what last night's bid does to all of that, because they were confident for the last few days, a week or so, because of the information they were getting. But that bid went in last night. And now it's a case of, where do we go from here? And no one really knows where they go from here. And even Sheikh Jassim doesn't really know where he goes from here, because if the feedback's good, then maybe one more bid. Or, I mean, this is the crazy thing. Last night was a take it or leave it offer, and we're kind of getting this morning going,
it's not,
might not be take it or leave it.
Which is why when we were doing the show last night, we were both quite careful to say we're not going to get over excited with this, saying that's it, it's done. And at the same time, it doesn't mean that no, it's a load of rubbish. They're never going to get it. We don't know what it means. We just know that it's gone in. We don't know what will happen from it. We just know what's gone in, and we kind of made educated assumptions to say this is probably why they've done it, i.e. they felt they were losing, i.e. they weren't comfortable with their bid and wanted to up it. So I think that's fair. And if anything, you know what, it's testament to Qatar that they haven't changed what they do and how they move and how they operate. If, like people are saying in there in the comments, that's just, and like you saying, maybe in the Middle East that's just how they conduct their business.
Yeah.
People conduct their business in many different ways. Many different ways. Some people are loud and look at Elon Musk. Look
I was
how
going to
Elon
say
Musk conducts his,
we're kind of
you know,
used to that Elon Musk
look,
model, aren't we? Of having, you know,
exactly.
these big, almost eccentric millionaires, billionaires that are constantly talking to the press. They're constantly doing interviews. They're not flaunting their wealth, but you sort of go, wow,
Yeah, you
that's a
can
really
call it that. You can call
that's
it
a
that. They are
really,
flaunting their wealth, yeah.
but that's a really wealthy business person. Then they're so geniuses, you know, because they've come from nothing or they've built up into something. And I think we need to be cautious of maybe that's just not necessarily how it works all around the world. You know what I mean?
100%. It's that not to advocate gangsters and that kind of thing, but you know that saying of like the real gangsters are in the back in the suits, you don't hear from them, versus like loud people running around shooting off the saying, I got cars, I got money, I got this, I got
Yeah.
that, look at me, you know, whereas the real guys or girls are in the back, just you won't even know.
They might send someone.
You know what I mean? You won't even know.
And also as well, you have
that's
to
the
remember
key.
where that's sort of maybe part of the wealth comes from here. If you know, let's face it, if some of the wealth is somewhat inherited or comes from, even though technically he's a private individual, it doesn't come from the state. He might be a situation of, well, I might be not the best businessman to be involved in some of these meetings, so I might send my delegates, I might send delegations to have all of these meetings. So I don't know. Like I said, I mean, obviously, look, the Premier League will want to do their due diligence, but as we've said before, when it comes to all of that kind of stuff, I remember when it was a couple of months ago, wasn't it, that I think the Premier League and was it the FA ratified some new changes or amendments to the fit and proper persons test, and they were strengthened and all that kind of stuff, and people thought that that might have a negative impact on Sheikh Jassim were he to win this takeover race, but they very quickly put something out to say, no, it wouldn't really affect us. We're not. This is why the 9-2 Foundation was kind of created. We're a private individual. And also, frankly, when it comes to all that kind of stuff, Pandora's box was open a long time ago because you've got actively Manchester City owned by Abu Dhabi and Newcastle owned by the Saudi PIF as well. So, you know.
I don't get how you know, if it's already happened in this league, the only difference of getting ownership of this type now, it would be interesting to see if because they've changed the rules and the criteria and the checklist of how you purchase a club now, would that make it well those new stringent rules would be put to the test, really, wouldn't they, to see if Qatar passed them or found a way to circumnavigate. Again, this is not a political show. The morals in football are on the ground. There really aren't any morals, really, in terms of from the outside world into it. Racism happens in football, nothing happens. Homophobia happens in football, nothing happens. People buy clubs that have questionable situations back where they're from in football. People get away with things in football. You know, if you're looking for morals in football, it isn't there.
Well, and also it should be a thing of, if you're going to introduce a new fit and proper persons test, then shouldn't the existing owners have to pass that test as well as new owners? Because if some of the existing owners couldn't pass the test, then that would say that the test is flawed, is it not? You know, so again, we'll see when it comes to that. But you know, it's very interesting, obviously, based on the developments of last night. That whilst that everyone involved still confident. That's the interesting thing, isn't it? Everyone's confident at the moment, but it's going to be fascinating to see the reaction from people because of last night's bid. And I'm sure over the next couple of days, we'll hear some kind of update as to the reaction from Rain and from the Glazers regarding Sheikh Jassim's bid, and if it's close enough or if it's not close enough or whatever. But as I said last night, if we're getting... I'm still very, 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 very reluctant to say that we're in the end game, because I don't think we are.
No,
I don't think we're close.
It feels like we're going into a new game.
Yeah,
it feels like we're going into another
round
phase. Yeah, another round. Essentially, this is another round of bidding, because maybe not bidding, but another round of consultation or what do you call that thing? Posturing. You know, well, we've put another bid down. So this is now a period for you to consider. So it's another round of something. Meanwhile, Sir Jim, it's a chance for Sir Jim to go, let's be honest, the Glazers are not going to turn down somebody trying to spend more money in like you said, until it's signed and someone has the keys or whatever. They're always going to be open to, oh, do you know what? Didn't see that happening. All right, we'll do that. They would have instructed their people to be aware of that and to be on it. And as the Rain Group's job in this process is to come to the guys and say, listen, well, Sheikh Jassim has just come with this. This is how we advise you on this. This would be pretty good. Or actually, well, you know what? You could sort of signify to Sir Jim that is quite tempting. What Sheikh Jassim's done. Has he got an answer for that? Has he got a reply for that? Do you know, we should probably pick up the phone and speak to him and find out what he wants to say. So essentially, that's what can happen to the final minute, to the final second. If we're being honest, really, isn't it? And that is what's happening.
And it's got to the stage now where the sort of construction of an actual process, first round, second round, third round, deadline by this date, that's all gone by the wayside at this point, really, hasn't it? We're now into the territory of trying to squeeze every last penny out of it, really, because again, like we said last night, it wouldn't be an 11th hour bid if Sheikh Jassim thought he was leading. You know, for all of the talk that he was confident, clearly he wasn't confident because he had to put in another bid.
Exactly.
You know? So for INEOS to say that they're confident now, don't be shocked if they make an amendment to their bid or whatever. Don't be shocked.
Or would they be confident because they just have got assurances from the Glazers that theirs is still what they want?
Well, but then that's the thing, because then the other report suggested that they really hadn't heard anything. You know, I did a thing a couple of days ago saying that everyone was still in the dark. But how can you be in the dark but still be confident? Or you haven't heard anything, but we're still very confident. And that confidence is based on communication with the Rain Group that they haven't had. It's all bizarre. And it's all, again, it all feels very much, like you said, posturing. We're confident. We're definitely not losing. We're definitely not losing either. We're still confident. Our bid's the best. Our bid's the best. Our bid values more than your bid does. Okay, we'll put our bid up a little bit so it actually values along the same lines of it. You know, that's kind of, that's what it feels like. And, you know, to those people that were saying it previously, nobody knows nothing. And I think you're right.
Yeah.
Nobody knows nothing. Nobody can get in the Glazers' head at all. They are the only two people that genuinely know where it's leaning. And even, to be honest, I don't even know if they know where they actually truly lean. They might be like, let's see if we can get more money. Let's see if we can get it higher.
Let's see if we can
get it. It worked last time.
Yeah.
It worked last time. They provoked Sheikh Jassim into putting
wait
and
wait and wait. And it worked. Exactly. It worked. So why would they not do it again? And why would they not do it back? Let's get the super chats out. There's a load here. Dominic's WJ Barrett says, so we start from WJ Barrett. Good management is very key. Yes, I've done Dominic. Have always said I am percentage 100%. Q Marcel Owen. All right. Well, Q Marcel Owen. You heard WJ Barrett.
100%. 100%.
That is the best.
Okay.
That's got to go on KG soundboard. Mark Harris says this is going on longer than Emmerdale Farm. Big up. Big up Emmerdale. Mandy Dingle and that. I don't even know if she's still in it. All Elite says Althan's on the pitch last day of the season. No, that's not going to happen. That we can say is not going to happen, All Elite, but wishful thinking. WJ Barrett also says Sir Jim Ratcliffe preferred bidder, so why not sign a ting? Glazers and Qatar have discussed a figure at the hotel, and this bid landed. No coincidence. This is happening. I mean, WJ Barrett's got this all worked out, and it's hard to tell him, bro, don't say this or that, because some of the stuff he's been saying, no one knows. Some of the stuff, but the hypothesis he's been coming to kind of circle back round, and then he ends up being in the, not in the know, but like it's going that way. But I don't know, bro. I don't know, WJ. Like nobody knows, but I hear what you're saying. Ahmed says even Carvey is fed up of the bidding saga. Heard him have a go at the Glazers yesterday on Sky. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, well, this was his tweet, Carvey, actually. He said,
it's like quote, he's had enough.
He's fed up of it. He said, Man United sale has dragged on for 6 months. Undignified way to treat one of the biggest clubs in the world. No communication with fans. Just months of trying to drum up interest and drive up the price. All along, one bidder has wanted to buy the whole club at anywhere near asking price. So basically, he's saying, yeah, first of all, it's disgrace, it's cheat about how long it's taken and it's been dragged out for. And if you're talking about being the biggest and best club in the world, doing this in an undignified way just kind of sums up this ownership right now. But on top of that, he's saying all along, one bidder has wanted to buy the whole club at anywhere near the asking price, referring to Sheikh Jassim, because obviously Sir Jim,
because it is near the asking price.
Near the asking price, yeah. And that asking price, everyone says, is overinflated and not actually value for money.
Exactly. All Elite says Jim values the club overall at 10 billion. Question mark. Madness, right? Well, essentially because he's doing essentially because he's doing. How much is he offering for that 51% or whatever it is? Do we even know the
actual number? But basically, based on that actual number, he values the club at £6 billion. It's not. It's nowhere near 10 or anything like that. So which is
maybe his bid for a half is like 3 point something.
And that's why it's more. Some say it's more attractive because it does value the club at the asking price that the Glazers are looking for, but it doesn't give them that asking price. No. But if everything were to happen across 2 to 4 years and everything they cashed out, they would maybe then get £6 billion.
Yeah, and that's going to be the attractive thing to the Glazers, because people could say, why did the Glazers want to stay around? They can get 5 billion now, like now.
Yeah.
But what they're saying is, according to reports are claiming that 5.6 billion pound from Qatar is inclusive of the extra 0.8 billion or $1 billion. That's for infrastructure and which they can't get. And which they're saying,
which they dispute. They go, well, no, it's not actually. And then some people goes, well, it is. And everyone's like,
and that's what we don't know. We don't know that. But the fact that they haven't still said yes to Qatar, you could argue that is that, but they still haven't said yes to Sir Jim. So that means they're just trying to keep getting more and more and more. Aminor says, does Marcel believe this bid and does he prefer Jim? I don't know. I haven't asked Marcel what he thinks about this bid, actually. Interesting.
The whole takeover process, he's been actually very rational. I think he said that he would prefer Sheikh Jassim, but he also said, as he said in the full view, that we've got to come to reality that Sir Jim might win it, and ultimately that's better than nothing, but he's not happy about it, which is a very rational Marcel take.
Yeah, it is. And something that hopefully we don't, but it could be something we all have to say at some point if Sir Jim gets it, that we're not happy about it, but the Glazers are loosening their grips. But we don't want to take that in this moment now. There's still another offer over there, offering a chance to get rid of all of this, make it all go away. Red Devils say, don't forget, Emirates never lose. We got this. We'll see. And Gemini 77 says the Glazers aren't giving away free money. Glory, Man United and UV. No, they're not. Another thing, one thing we've learned about this as well, like, oh, here you go. So just quickly, Paul says, if Qatar can buy a World Cup, they can buy United. Oh, absolutely. I think that was like 10. How much did they spend? Like 10 billion on that?
Well, yeah, there was, and it wasn't just the World Cup. There was a lot of other stuff involved that around it.
They didn't even have a metro system before. They built a whole thing, and it was wicked as well.
So, but that's never been contended, has it? That they've got the money, and this is what everyone's been saying from the start, isn't it? Is that if you want it, go get it, but they don't want to overpay, and so because of that, they've had to do, as Kave said, this song and dance that's dragged on for 6 months. You know
what? I just said 10 billion. Was it 200 billion on the World Cup? 220 billion. Is that how much they spent on the World? Definitely not 10 anyway. Jesus.
Fast forward to 2022 and the completion of the project. Numerous media accounts have confirmed that Qatar spent $220 billion on the World Cup, a staggering 15 times more than Russia did in 2018 as previous hosts.
200, so about pounds, about 200. Like 200 billion. How long is the World Cup? 5 weeks.
If that. Let's be honest, Flex. If that.
And a lot of people were saying in Qatar, like, because I was saying it'd be interesting to see what Qatar's going to be like. Obviously, when everyone's not there anymore and all the tourists aren't there, and it goes back to just quiet life of all those amazing stadiums. And I think one of them they reduced the capacities. One of them, I think, the 619 stadium. That's Rey Mysterio. It was called something 629, I think it was called. It was basically made out of shipping containers. Yeah, and then they just took them back and just put them back in the sea, like just dismantled it afterwards. Like, so it was, and that was a wicked stadium. It was crazy. It was crazy.
It happens a lot though with big tournaments and stuff. Yeah. The legacy afterwards, isn't it? I mean, if you look at the Olympics, some of the stuff isn't there anymore. They knocked back down, didn't they? Is it what did they knock down? I forget. But or you look at the World Cup
Olympics.
Our Olympics.
Was it the London place? Stadium? That's still there. The Aquatic Stadium. I see that when you drive past it on the A12.
But there was some stuff that they had repurposed and all that kind of stuff. Or you look at the World Cup in 2014 in Brazil. That stadium that was in the middle of like the rainforest, it's all overgrown and all that now.
Yeah. Yeah.
The sort of the legacy management's a big part of those bids, because lots of people they've seen examples of the past of stuff like that. They go, what are you going to do afterwards?
Yeah.
Because you're just going to have giant stadiums sitting around for no reason.
Yeah. But what this whole thing is showing us is that this is what business is like, though. Like, there is no morals in it at times. Look at Sir Jim Ratcliffe's basically saying this is business. Like, I know I'm a Man United fan. I know I want to put the Manchester back in Manchester United, but if I have to keep the Glazers there in order to do it, I'll do it. It's business. Sheikh Jassim saying, well, you're not getting this. You're not getting this. You're not getting this. Actually, I'm going to now give you this. Like, it's business. I've been in that situation loads of times, working with people over the years. It happens. They promise you the world. They say this X, Y, Z is going to happen. And you're like, oh, great. Oh, yeah, brilliant. Let's build this thing. This is amazing. Then all of a sudden, nah, not happening anymore. Oh, all right. Well, all right then, cool. Well, it's just business then, isn't it? Yeah. The business mind of it, you're just going to change your mind. You work doing something for ages, trying to build something up, and then it changes. You promise this, you promise that, and they go, nah, not anymore. It changes. That is business. You don't sit and cry about it. You just get on with it as an adult, because that's the world. Don't sit and sympathize about it. You just crack on, because that's what business is, and that's what Sir Jim is doing here.
The business world is cutthroat, Flex. That's the thing, and this whole process is cutthroat. One person's knife in the back is another person's handshake. That's what this is, and we might see it as for Sir Jim as getting involved with the Glazers as a knife in the back, but to him it's a handshake deal for him to actually own the club. And people have to realize that, there's no sentiment in business, and there's really not a lot of loyalty either. And particularly, like you said, when you get into really cutthroat stuff like this. So the thing is, if people don't realize that, man, wake up and smell the coffee,
Yeah, that's just what happens. And again, when it does happen, you got two options. You either, so say for Sir Jim, if he's not happy with how to get, you either walk away and then don't get anything and cry, or you try and find another way to get the club, which is what he's doing, which is rubbing us up the wrong way. Or if you're Sheikh Jassim and Qatar, you put the first bid in because you say, nah, I'm not doing that. You put a second bid in, nah, you're not doing that. And then you're doing an 11th hour bid, because that's the way the business is gone. You don't sit and cry about it. You influence it. You just crack on. You just be strong.
Yeah.
Like, don't be a wimp. Exactly. You just get on with
it. Yeah.
And
you have confidence in yourself, don't you? You go,
exactly.
Well, you don't, like I say, you don't sit and cry.
Yeah, you just crack on. David Bell says, come on, Sheikh Jazz, drop 10 billion, get it done. Maybe you might have to drop something like that the way this is going, because it just won't. It's, we're, like we said, we're entering into another round of interest, really, isn't it? If Qatar, I've read that one. Ahmed says 220 billion. Now imagine how much money they really have. I mean, obviously that wasn't Sheikh Jassim who did that. That is the state of Qatar. Yeah. But it does show, and I know firsthand there are a lot of ridiculously wealthy people there, where there's rich and there's wealthy.
Well, that was why there was, I think it was part of the Times article that said Sir Jim Ratcliffe was leading, and they said a big part of it was the Swiss bank collapse had really affected Qatar, and they'd lost, like, I think it was billions of pounds or something. And at the time you go, well, that's bad, but then you realize that is genuinely a drop in the ocean. Like a bank collapsing and them losing billions, which would cripple most countries. Yeah, they're like, it's fine. It's no problem. You know what I mean? That's it's wild to think, certainly.
Yeah, it is. It is wild to think, and this is just going to go on and on and on now, really, isn't it? Because
the end's not in sight, Flex.
It's not.
The end's not.
I think that's the sad thing about this, is that there's more of this. There's
the question is,
more of this.
We've got 3 games left of the season, and when does the actual Premier League season end? Do we have a date on that? Is it like
the 20 Sunday the 28th?
Yeah, 28th.
Yeah, 28th. So everyone will play at that time on the 28th. Yeah.
This won't get done by then.
No.
Yeah, that's 11 days time. It ain't getting done in 11 days time. No way. FA Cup final, 3rd of June. I don't think it's going to be done by then. Yeah, either. So that's when it gets into, when you talk about transfers and planning and all that kind of stuff. It's gonna impact the transfer window in the summer. That, like, 100 million that's been thrown around as the budget, that's the budget, I think. I think we're looking at, like, the end of the transfer window, possibly, where things are in place and we know which direction we're heading into. And we have to then think about maybe January, or we have to think about maybe next summer or something like that. Or the work starts on the infrastructure sort of midway through the season or something like that, I think, because this is already too close in terms of proximity to the transfer window to have any great impact on it in terms of a positive impact.
Yeah. Kristen says, Altani should make an ultimatum to the Glazers. If you don't sell to us, we'll close the door on any potential businesses you have in Qatar. Well, we spoke a little bit about why it would be appealing for the Glazers to do business with the Qataris because of future investment plans and, you know, future business ideas, future ventures, etc., etc. So it's funny you say that, Kristen. Member for 11 months, by the way, nearly a member for a year. Be interesting to see who's going to get their year anniversary in the members group. Actually,
I believe it will be Star-Lord was the first OG member. I remember that one. And yeah, I believe you get a gold UV badge next year for a year. I believe
that exclusive. Yeah. Love that. And what happened? Kaiser says, what happens if the value of the club drops? Also, Jim can't afford to buy them. Why take the risk? Wouldn't the Glazers take the money now? Agreed. Me and Owen spoke about that, about what the share price looks like, and you know, I've spoken about the biggest reason that I'm against Sir Jim coming in is the worry that his focus and his pure focus would be / should be getting the Glazers out within 2 to 4 years, but that costs money. How's he going to find that money? Where does it come from? Is it at the expense of us not having the reinvestment into the football club that was so needed? Is it?
Or does he have to put that money aside now and being like, I know that I'm going to have that in like 2 years' time or 3 years' time. So a bit like when you're, I don't know, a bit like when you're like your rent, you put your rent aside because you know you're going to need it at the end of the month. You know, it might a bit like that. I don't know. So, and all of that's just very complex. It's done by much smarter people than you or I think. But
speak for yourself, Owen. Speak for yourself.
Well, yeah, I didn't want to reveal.
Very smart.
You know, I didn't want to reveal your history.
Put me in that category. Oh yeah, more smarter than me and you. Well, speak for yourself, mate. Yeah.
I apologize. Was I wrong about Flex's intelligence?
100%. 100%.
Apology.
Oh, that clip is just gold. Marcel's he's something else.
Would you like a little bit of possible breaking transfer news, Flack?
I can see this Kim Min Jae thing sort of going on. So let's get into that. Before you do that, though, Owen. Before you do that, we have got 1,600 people watching, and we've got 260 likes. I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say.
No, I don't really have any clips. Yeah.
No, Owen. No clips. No clips. No gimmicks. No putting the mic feeling on. Just, I'm not angry. I'm disappointed.
Yeah.
Just that. Before we even carry on, I'm not even going to say what, hit this target, guys. Let's do this. Smash it. No, guys, I'm just going to reiterate that. We've got over 1,600 people watching. And only, not 260 now. Now it's 340. But we've got 340 likes and 1,600 people watching.
So we've got over 1,600 people watching, and we're not even close to 500. Is what you're basically saying?
We're not even close to 500.
Oh shit! I thought I had the sound up. I didn't. Shit.
What is going on here?
Have you got like a soundboard in your phone?
I've got, you know me. I keep. I
do know you. I do know you. Yeah, it's brilliant in the director of football role as well. Yeah. But yes, before we carry on with a little bit of transfer news, that is the latest. That there is nearly 1,700 people watching, and we haven't even got 500 likes. That's all I'm saying right now.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying right now. I will be back because that is a disgrace. That is a cheat. Come to our dressing room and say that. Who are you? You are a nobody.
Who are the Brighton fans?
Who are the people not pressing like?
Yeah.
Come to my dressing room and don't press like.
Come to Ty's dressing room.
You are a nobody. But yes, there is a little bit of breaking transfer news, isn't there?
Yes, so it comes from the same outlet that we had spoken about previously, Il Mattino, which is a big outlet based in Naples. Obviously, be quite close to the Napoli team. It would make sense. They were the same ones the other day that basically said that Kim Min-jae was just a matter of details, really, before everything was agreed of him joining Manchester United. Well, the latest update from them is that Manchester United have already informed Napoli that they will pay Kim Min-jae's release clause of 56 million euros, which is around 43 million pounds, in the 15-day period at the start of July. So, by all accounts, they're saying they've already communicated with Napoli. We're doing it. We're triggering the release clause in that period of July. There had been reports, hadn't there, that United had, communicated to Kim Min-jae, or Kim Min-jae had communicated to United that he wanted to come, and they were ironing out the details. Romano had kind of pushed back on that a little bit, didn't he? And he said, no, nothing's been agreed. You know, he's on the list, you know. But by all accounts, Napoli were still thinking about offering a new contract. Frankly, if United communicate to Napoli, oh, by the way, you know that release clause that comes into effect in 2 months' time, we're going to trigger it. Wouldn't that give Napoli then 2 months to figure out, give him a new effing contract?
100%.
Would you show your hand that early? You know, I don't think you would.
Unless, and no, you wouldn't in a business sense, unless the only way you would do that is if Kim Min-jae
has gone to them and actually said,
I'm going. And even actually, well, he can't sign yet. Can he sign a paper? Can he agree? He can verbally agree, but in business, as we just spoke about how cutthroat business is, you don't go off a verbal agreement. Verbal agreements mean nothing.
Knives in the back.
Someone saying
to United. You could say to United, say, I've got this. I'm going to do this. Don't worry about it. And then they could put something under him, and they could just Napoli could put a new contract under him. He could sign it. And they'd be like, United be like, that's not in the back.
Doesn't mean anything. Lip service is nothing until it's written down on paper and stamped and rubber stamped again. It doesn't mean anything. Someone being nice to you and saying, I'm going to give you this, and maybe we could do that. Oh, yeah, that would be good. And then in a few years or a few months in Kim Min-jae's stance, no, I'm not doing that, actually. So, and Man United have had this, like Frankie de Jong said, apparently, he said he wanted to come, and there's got to be a reason why Erik ten Hag hung in there so long. He must have had some assurances at some point. I know the club said that, but then he came out and said, "I want to stay. I don't want to go." So, yeah,
it's quite interesting as well because I just saw it was a super chat from Love said that Kim Min-jae has military service in June, July, by the way, which is indeed reportedly true. It says that Kim will begin mandatory military service in South Korea from June to July. Now, again, his release clause is from July 1st to July 15th. So maybe that's part of United. You know, we were saying, why United, if this is true? Why are they being so early on this? It might not even necessarily be out of a case of to their benefit of like, oh, yeah, we want to get the deal done early. It might just be because they have to, because in terms of availability, he's not going to be available through the month of June, which if that is the case, and that means they've got 13 days to really iron this out with him. You know, I guess you could do it with his representatives. I don't know what kind of communication Kim would have with his representatives when he's doing military service as well. Yeah. So maybe it's because of that. Maybe it's just that this is how the timeline is going to work. I'm not sure. But again, I kind of think the idea of informing a club you're going to trigger his release clause 2 months out seems somewhat strange. I mean, Napoli might know that informally, but for United to do that formally would be a bit odd, particularly when they're saying that they might still try and offer him a new contract.
All Elite says you can get Kim Min-jae and Kane for less than Osimhen. I ain't mad. It might be more. It might be about the same. If Osimhen costs 140, 130, it's near enough. Near enough.
Basically.
Yeah, not far off. Maybe like 5 or 10 million either side.
Yeah, 43 million for Kim Min-jae. About we're saying 100. Like we know it's 100 for Kane, by the way.
Yeah, it could bloody be more knowing Daniel Levy.
Yeah.
If we even try and get him. You know, Kane thing's gone a bit quiet at the minute. If we even try and get, because obviously the takeover stuff's all happening. Osimhen 160 Fleck. Is he? 160? Is that what their chairman said or something?
I said I don't think Victor Osimhen goes anywhere this summer. I really don't. I know they've been saying, Chelsea are interested. No, Victor Osimhen, I don't think will go anywhere. Well, and particularly Chelsea. Why would he go to Chelsea? This is what I've been saying about anyone that when Chelsea's been linked to all these big people. Oh God, Fleck.
KG's ringing you.
KG, you're live on United View.
Yeah, I just thought I should call in and just give you lot some of my thoughts as well.
Go on.
I think Altani's gonna do it. I think he's gonna get away. Yeah, I think he's gonna. This is like I've been listening to you guys this morning and stuff, and you know me, Cheeky and Tesco and stuff, trying to work this out. Yeah. Basically, this is how I understand it. Right, the Rain Group, obviously, they're there to drum up the price. Yeah.
Yeah.
A conversation must have taken place direct with Altani and the Rain Group, saying, "Listen, this is where Sir Jim is right now, and we are considering, we are looking at this thing." And he said, "All right, well, I have to make a move," because he must have been instructed that your bid is unlikely at the moment. And
we agreed on that. We agreed on that. To be fair, that's the reason why he's put another bid.
And then the question is Sir Jim gonna offer more for the tiny or for the limited percentage that he's going for? Right? How much? Who's gonna blink first? Like, because at some point, Sir Jim's got to be like, I'm paying too much for a tiny percentage, right? This is ridiculous, right? And it's going to be, it's a shootout between Sir Jim and Altani. But the only thing is, if Altani needs to dip in his pocket again, he probably could. Where Sir Jim is saying, I'm getting ripped off now because I'm paying a premium for I'm not even getting all of it. And then there's no guarantee that I can fix things and make this club more valuable in 3 years' time. So even for the that thing of saying, because the latest joke is about the money that could be made, right? How the Sir Jim can pay straight away. Really? Over faster than the Qataris can pay. How? Sir Jim has not even talked about the debt or his plan. We don't even know how his financing is going to work. So where's he going to get the money from to pay? Like, as soon as the bid, the money's going to go through straight away. It's a bit fishy to me. I honestly feel that now it's the ball's back in Sir Jim's court. Is he going to pay more for less? Is that what he's willing to do? And these guys can cut and run.
What do you think?
Well, he's got to talk to all the. It's not him, innit? It's not him by himself. He's got to convince all the creditors that this makes sense. Remember, if it was just him by himself, like how Altans can say, you know what, up the bid. Sir Jim's got.
No, it's just really funny that they're just Altans
and say, hey guys, we need to restructure this financing thing.
KG never calls him Sheikh Jassim.
No, KG never calls him Sheikh Jassim. It's always Altans.
He calls him,
that's my guy.
ALTARNS.
That's honest. Like,
ALTARNS. He's not even. Altans.
Altans. Listen. I hope the main thing is I hope it gets to the point where because we're playing with a level of greed right now. This is just greedy. Like,
well, we're not playing with a level of greed. The Glazers are playing with a level of
greed. That's what I'm talking about them, right? It's the level of greed right now, and it's out of control. You would like in the utopian world, you would like for the Glazers to say, hey, this is the actual best deal for Man United. It's the best deal for us. We get our money right now. Like, we get everything we need now at this moment. Yeah, we can wait 3 years, but we can't be guaranteed that it's going to do that. The only way we can guarantee that is if Sir Jim's foundation run this club perfectly and we have success and the club is valued at more. But if that doesn't happen, that share price and stuff doesn't go up. So the money that we thought was going to get in 3 years' time, we might not get. Let's say there's another 3 years of domination and Sir Jim doesn't do what he needs to do. Let's say Man United don't perform on the pitch. That money that you was kind of hoping to get will not exist. Are you with me?
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean,
I don't disagree. I don't disagree with a lot of what he said.
Flex says he doesn't disagree with a lot. He said, "Why can't I tried to get it so you could hear him as well. So KG could hear Flex, but it's not working. I'll try again. I'll try again.
I agree with a lot of what he's saying.
Speakers.
I can't hear anything Flex is saying.
Yeah, I went to click it when you click on your speaker and then you click speakers, but maybe if I take
you just respond to him. But I agree though. He's not in mad KG fashion. He's not saying madness.
Mouth moving, but I just hear nothing from him. You know, which is the way I prefer it, to be honest.
No, but on a serious note though, like they have to. These guys have to make a decision soon because there's so, like we're like weeks away from the season ending, and all clubs are doing their business as it stands. All clubs are speaking to people, and Man United have probably got like 2 different folders of like signings we could try and get if we got our Tani money, and signings that we'll get if we're sticking with Glazers. Probably 3 folders. The Sir Jim one, the Altani one, and the Glazer one. The Glazer one is shit.
Lil
The Glazer
Yo-Yo
one
said,
just
by the way,
freeze.
Lil Yo-Yo said, KG holding up a mad queue at Tesco for the milk.
Ah.
KG saying all this on the phone, and they're going, "Sir, that's £3, please." Oh yeah, whatever.
No, but I really wanted to call in. I think we should. It has to be coming to an end. The main thing that we do
I don't
know
think
is
it is KG.
we do know it is coming to. We know that one they're selling, because how would you tell these guys to put in another bid if you're not selling? They are selling, right? So there will be a new owner. By the end of this, there's gonna be a new owner out of the 2. I don't think it's gonna be that.
Ask him what it is. Ask him what it is.
KG, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
When you're driving and you're on the phone, what is
Yeah.
that like whistling noise?
I don't know.
You can hear it, can't you, Flex?
Yeah.
It's always like that.
I don't know what it is.
What is it?
I don't know. I can't hear anything.
Has he got his window open while he's driving or something?
It's clear for me. It's still there.
There, that.
Yeah.
I can't do nothing about it. I'm gonna listen to the show back in an air.
Does he have, ask him just quickly? Does he?
Never heard it before.
To ask him quickly. Is it because he's got his window open?
Have you got your window open?
Nah. Hold on. Let me check. No, there's no air coming in.
There.
They're saying you need to go quick fit, bro. There's tires.
I love that's your question.
Yeah.
I've been saying all this stuff about Artadi and all this other stuff. You're like, mate,
Have you done your MOT?
We'll ask you this question.
Well, no,
Totally
just,
unrelated.
I wasn't sure if you had like, was it Sooty and Sweep in the car with you? You know those little puppets that squeak.
Yeah,
Always boiling the
Sooty
kettle.
and Sweet.
Yeah. What does Sooty think?
Yeah.
And there's always that nice guy that could just say what they're saying. I think Sooty thinks.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you know what City thinks? Idiot?
It would squeak. You go, "You're absolutely right. It does look terrible today, doesn't it? The weather." You go,
What if Sooty wasn't saying that this whole time?
exactly.
Yeah, he was saying,
Well,
"Well,
every
get your
single
hand
time
out my backside.
Yeah.
Move, bro. Let me have
The
some
guy-
independence."
The guy would say, "Yeah, the weather's terrible." He goes, "I didn't say that. I've been saying."
This whole time I'm trying to warn you about the Glazers.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, literally, we are coming to the end of it though. I do think we're not too far.
Is that what you is that what you think, KG?
I honestly feel that. Yeah.
Is that what you think?
I do.
It
think
doesn't matter what you
we're at the end of
think. Bang. Yes. 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 Owen's in the chat. Owen's in the chat. Owen's in the chat. It doesn't matter what you think.
Look how happy you are that you've done that. The wrestling of Owen. Soon as the wrestling Owen comes about, yeah, game over. Yes. Yeah. What was the thing? Who used to do that again?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Who was that? Daniel Bryan.
Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. It doesn't matter what you think.
Oh God. Oh mate. Okay. It's because he has no power in that situation as well. None.
Because if you called me back, you would just hear the silent.
Yeah. But you know what though?
The thing is, you can't say I started this because he was hanging up on people for a long time, and you know what? The UV community was saying to me, "Hang up on him like he hangs up on me."
KG, you're live on United View. I need you to do something. If that's gonna stand under your watch, you're running like this is becoming Carrington, bro. What are you gonna do about it? That's like when Lingard was on holiday talking about beans and shit, bro. What are you gonna do? Get the club in order, fam. This is what's happening.
You can't take it clearly, can he?
So what's I thought he was from South London. This sounds a bit kind of telltale-ish, like, oh, like, sir, like, miss, he kind of done this to me. Oh, sir, did you see that? It sounds a bit tell the teacher-ish. I'm not really gonna lie. I thought he was from other side of the river. I'm not really gonna lie.
Right under your nose, bro. You were right. There's not even snitching. You were there. He was right in front of you, bro.
Bro, the comments are commenting. They're saying it's a snitch thing, bro. Kind of.
He can't be snitching if he saw it.
Ask him if that's what he thinks.
Nah, but there was no communication.
Say, is that how? Is that how you feel? Say, is that how you feel? And it doesn't matter how you feel.
Bro, to be honest, I couldn't hit. Remember, there was no communication between me and you. The line was broken. It was between you and Owen. It feels kind of snitches.
So I just want to hear that you're not dealing with it.
Wait, so what's the way? What? How do you actually want me to deal with this? It doesn't matter how you want me to deal with this. I don't deal with snitches around here, cuz. Go on, snitch around here, cuz.
Can you imagine him calling up? Oh, dude, is this how you want to deal with this? This guy simpins people on his own channel, yeah? If they don't agree with him, he'll go, KG, I think you're wrong. He'll go, simpin.
That's not how this works, cuz. We don't want no snitch up here, cuz. You from South London, cuz. You up in the Tesco, G. We don't want that from KG, the snitch. I was about to swear there. I don't want to swear. We don't want none of that, cuz. We don't want that snitch stuff, cuz.
And now he's just sitting there raging in his squeakmobile as he goes around and does his daily chores in his Crocs.
KG is from South London and he tried to ring me and say, did you just see that? Did you see what Owen done to me? Get out of here, bro. Handle your business. Handle your business, bro. Big and awkward. Handle your business. Come on. You're KG. You're from South. Come on, bro. You can't come to me and ask me to sort that out for you. It's playground stuff. I'm going to be that parent for you. I'm going to be Mr. Gary. And I'm going to say, don't come to me with that. Turn around out of this house, get straight back out there and go and deal with it. Or I'm going to deal with you.
Yeah.
That's how it happens. Informer. And the kibble bomb down. I don't even know what that is.
He said his villain arc has been realized. Basically,
what does that mean? Is that a comic thing?
It's like the beginning of him becoming a bad guy. Basically, this is KG's origin story. But to be honest, again, KG's origin story. This is textbook KG. This is like KG when he says, "I'm not late," whereas meanwhile he's always late. That's what he. So when he's saying about, "I can't believe they hung up on me," mate, you hang up on everyone all the time. I remember when I didn't even know KG that well, and he hung up on me and thought it was funny. That's how KG makes friends, yeah?
Johnny Q says, you're talking about the greatest sniffs ever assembled.
You're talking about the greatest... I can't do the high thing. Ever assembled.
KG, do me a favor. It's a big baby. It's a big baby. It's a baby. Baby. And as for that KG... I've seen him around the place. I've seen him strutting about the place. Never won anything in his life. A baby. Never gone on the field to play himself and sorted it. Baby.
Well, you're saying KG's turned into a snitch?
Red flag.
KG's so rattled he sent a £5 super chat. And I'm not going to refund it.
When you say less, boss. KG before... do you remember KG when he used to not be a snitch, Flex, yeah?
He was special.
Flex is broken it. Rex has laughed so hard. I think he's knocked his wire out. That's what he's done.
I'm not the wire out. Drop the
knocked the
mic.
wire
I'm
out.
not the wire out.
If you guys, you know what to do. If you ever want to see KG be a snitch again, all you have to do is
pop it in YouTube.
Nah, Owen. Nah. This is what I mean about Owen. No, he's been sitting there silently collecting his new sounds. Nah, oh, no.
I want to do the special one again. KG, Flex, do you remember a time when KG was from South London and he didn't go to the boss to try and snitch?
He was special.
KG, just sort it out yourself. I can't sort it. You can.
Brilliant. I think he's done it again. Flex is not the wire again.
Have I?
Oh, there you
I
back.
don't know. Oh no, I didn't at that time. That's just because it's been in and out. Fucking okey pokey. I'm mad. He was special. This is good entertainment, says Wildcat Productions. Oh mate, everyone in the chat's going off. Let me make sure I've read out the last couple of super chats on a serious level. Love says Kim and Jay has military service in June to July. By the way, we did say that actually. You did take that one. Big up to you, Love. And KG wants Kante. He is a true crackhead. Says Red
both
Baron.
wanted Kante. I saw
I was
that yesterday.
Say, yeah, for 10 million, I'll take him 100%.
No way.
For 10 million, I would.
No
You
way.
wouldn't take 10 million, I would.
No way.
That's the only way.
No one.
WJ Barrett says KG has had to pull up and chat. To pull up to chat and done a super chat. Yeah. Well, there you go. What a great show. There is a serious element to the show, which is that the takeover process is still takeovering. You know, we don't know what's going to happen. On a serious note, we will be across it. We will keep giving you the latest updates on it and try to depict what's going on. We will also have fun and make jibes out of people on the channel. That's just what it is.
The best thing is KG called up being really serious as well, and he's just been completely
and he was right. And he was right by what he said. No, but you let him get it all out. You didn't just cut him out straight away. Yeah. You know. And Ahmed says military service in South Korea is 18 months. Is it? Yeah, I don't know what it's like for elite athletes though. Does it change?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not going to comment on that. I don't know how it works, but be interesting to see how that plays out. All right. Hala Madrid. Hala Madrid. Need them. Benny, Vinny, Rodrigo, Valverde, Camavinga, Modric, Cruz.
Shut up.
Militao, if he's back. Or, you know, I think Thingy can do a decent job on Haaland. Rudiger loves it. Yeah, Carvajal, I need more shithousery on Grealish. Just keep winding him up. Pull his Alice Bland off or something. Just do something to him. Because Hala Madrid. I'll be doing a watch-along later on DR. So feel free to come over to that. I'm sure KG will be doing a hate-along as well. I'm sure of that. So have them both on. So check out both of those. Yeah, Hala Madrid. That's all I'm going to say. Right. Oh, it's coming being injured. Oh, bloody hell. Jesus. Oh, mate. Anyway. Big up Raul, 100%. Need Raul on full smoke today. But
Shut up.
It's looking kind of Etihad-ish, man. Shut up. Hug Raul tightly if Fleck, if Madrid win. Oh, I will. I'll kiss him if they win. On the cheek. On the cheek. I will. I promise you, if they win, I'll kiss him on the cheek. Anyway, guys, we are out of here. See you all again very, very soon with another show. It's crazy out here. It's crazy.